I am very excited to have my next guest join us. Her debut album, Chaotic, comes out May 14th. It is Ellise. And there she is.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. I've been so excited to chat with you. First of all, how are you? I love this clean white background that you got going on in this bedroom.
Thank you. I'm great. Yeah, I'm just sitting here in my very unfinished glam room, so it's very plain. I have a mountain of laundry right there that I need to do. And yeah.
I said how excited I was to talk to you because let's be honest, I'm based in San Francisco. I got some Bay Area pride here. So anytime I hear that an artist is from here, comes out of here, we gotta represent because
Yes.
the history of Bay Area music is just so interesting because been a scene for so long, right?
Mhm.
If we talk about G-Eazy more recently with the hip hop scene in Oakland, Green Day from the East Bay, you can point out Metallica, G-Eazy, Green Day, and Ash could not be
Yeah.
any more different,
Yeah.
right?
The
And
whole spectrum.
exactly. And did you grow up as a fan of any of those type of artists, that genre of music, that style of music, and did that seep into how you approach music making?
I mean, I've always been a fan of pop. I've always been a really big fan of alt pop. So I would say Ash like kind of falls into that category. But yeah, I grew up, my dad grew up listening to like, classic dad stuff, Journey, all of that. I loved that. My mom is from Iraq, so I was really listening to like Arabic music with her, which I also loved. And so I kind of didn't really get my own music taste identity till I was a little bit older. I would say like in fifth, sixth grade, I really started being like, okay, well, what kind of music do I actually like? And I got really into like Lana Del Rey and Lorde and, these like girl alt pop artists who were really building like an entire kind of like universe around themselves as an artist, and that fascinated me so much, and that's really what made me want to be an artist myself.
So you moved to LA, not knowing a soul, and also not having a purpose. It's not like you went to music school there, or you went to film
Yeah.
school, or anything of the sort. I mean, tell me about that situation. And when you're 16 years old, the world is so huge to you at that point, and also having no fear and trying to make contacts. How did you start, and where do you go to try to get your footing?
I mean, honestly, it was like a very crazy kind of journey. I think a big part of what kept me sane and doing it was that I had no fear. I almost like admire my younger self a lot because I feel like now I'm a much more fearful and anxious person than I was back then. But when I first came to LA, I was really just trying to work, trying to figure it out, being like, what can I do to put my name out there? I was filming a lot of like covers in my room, just singing, putting them on YouTube and Instagram. And then, you start like gaining a little traction on social media. And then some people would just like slide in my DMs and be like, let's hang out. And I started making friends like that and just trying to be really social and kind of just, I don't know, find where I belonged, because it really was like I felt like I just came into this big city. I didn't know anyone. I don't have family here. My mom, who is a saint, did come down a lot the first year or two and stay with me. Like I would say probably 50% of the time she was switching between LA and here because I was just like a kid by myself and she was definitely worried. But yeah, over time, I think I just kind of understood my purpose a little bit more. And that's when I started making my own like original music. And I was like, okay, now I feel like I'm ready to really like get into it.
Says a lot because you could easily have gone down a route where you meet the wrong kind of people and just got totally distracted partying, the celebrity lifestyle, and with technology changing over the last 7 years thereabouts, right? Because of TikTok and Instagram modeling and all these things, you could have totally gotten sidetracked. So props to you for that. I really admire that.
Oh, thank you. Don't worry. I did get sidetracked.
Oh, okay. Wow,
I
I
did.
take that all back.
I definitely had a little phase of like, I just want to party. I just want to have fun. I mean, to give myself credit, I was the age of like a high school senior, high school junior. So I look back on it now and I'm like, everything happens for a reason. I was a kid. Like my heart was in the right place, but I was just a little immature. And I think I needed to do a little bit of maturing and growing up before I could really like step into my own and take things more seriously.
I'm going to go back on Just Jared to find your photos with all the emerging young actors and who you were dating at the time, for heaven's sakes.
Oh no. I've looked at them. It's not a pretty sight.
And now that we know about your wild phase, I'm again taking that Just Jared and going through those photos. I'm going to try to make the connection between who was the one that broke your heart and told you no and things like that.
Oh God.
So with this full collection, is this more recent? I noticed that 911 is one of the older songs that is on this album. What are we capturing during your life here?
It is more recent. You sadly will not find pictures of me and the person this album is about on Just Jared. Actually, worse, Just Jared Jr.
Oh,
You won't find those. This was a much more recent relationship. It happened over the course of the past year. I'm honestly still going through it. Like everything that you hear on the album, all these songs is it's kind of almost weird because it's so recent. Like I still feel all the emotions that I'm talking about in the album. I'm not even going to sit here and say I'm over it because I'm not. So, yeah, I think it's just about this boy. I think I did a pretty good job of keeping our stuff private during our relationship. I feel like maybe some really tapped in fans know who it's about, but most people don't. And I like that. So yeah, but it's all really about one boy. Like this whole album is really about one guy. And throughout the course of our relationship, all these things kept happening. And every time an event happened, I just would make a song about it. And it ended up forming an album.
it's always interesting because affairs of the heart are just A, universal, and B, so much fodder for songs that many people have written about. On the flip side, are you able to write happy songs? Are they more of a struggle for you?
I honestly have never written a happy song. It's not even on purpose. I've just never like when I'm happy, I don't really feel inspired to make music, if that makes sense. Like my manager and I have this joke all the time where, I'll finally be like, oh my God, I'm doing so well mentally. And then I'm like, well, I'm about to mess up my life again because I gotta make music. Because when I'm doing well, I feel like I'm just happy and I just want to live in the moment. It's when I'm like sad and angry and jealous and feeling all these awful things that I feel like I want to sit down and create about it.
I think that's probably the next level, the next evolution as an artist is trying to find that balance because you can't put yourself in those situations and tap into those sad feelings all the time, right?
Yeah, it really feels like a curse. And I think you're right. I hope that the next evolution is finding out a balance of how to feel like creatively inspired while being happy. So if I ever figure that out, I'll let you know.
Well, congratulations on this album. It's been a long time coming. Of course, we want to welcome you back here in the Bay with big open arms. And now here you are with a full album to share. And it's just so exciting. Again, just so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to get back to the Bay. Hopefully we can like talk in person.
Please. Oh gosh. I mean, as much fun as this is, it's almost like I'm talking to a YouTube video,
I know. It's like we're vlogging right now.
Seriously. Thanks so much for doing this. Great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to chat with you too.